use conditional probability notation to describe events. So here we're really going to focus on the notation of this. How do we write it? So conditional means given that something is true or that something has already happened. So given that I run the stop sign, what is the probability that I hit a car, right? That's a conditional. Given something has happened, what is probability something else happened? All right, so how we write this, the probability of A given that B has occurred. So B has happened, and now how does that impact the probability of A? So we would write that as the probability of A given B. Okay, so this line right here means given. So that means the second piece is what has happened. All right, so in this case, B has happened. We want, because of that, how does that impact the probability of A? Okay, so let's look at this. Let's write the notation for, in a standard deck of cards, find the probability of drawing a jack given that you draw a heart. All right, so what does that mean? Well, first let's identify. Let's say we're talking about a jack. So let's say that that is noted by J. And we're talking about a heart, so let's note that by an H. So the probability of drawing a jack given that you draw a heart. And I overemphasize that line just a little bit because given is that vertical line. So what this means is that you know it's a heart. You saw the red shape. Okay, it's a heart. What is the probability it's a jack? That's what we're trying to find here. That's what we're saying. Let's write the notation for, you're rolling a die. Find the probability of rolling a 2 given that it's an even number. So maybe you're playing Yahtzee and it's the last roll and you have to have a 2 and you roll that one die you have left and everybody says, hey, it's an even number. And you're like, oh, what's the probability that it's a 2? That's what we're talking about here. So let's say that even, let's note that by E. For 2, we'll just use a 2. So what is the probability of rolling a 2? This is what we want to have happen, given that we know it's an even number. So that's the notation. So again, this part is what has happened. We know it's an even number. All right, there's 2, 4, and a 6. So what's the probability that it's a 2? That's the idea of how this works. So the notation for conditional probabilities.